How was your sleep last night?
It was good, thank you. How's yours?
Incredible.
I had one of those sleeps where I think I dreamt, but I cannot remember what I dreamt for the life of me.
I actually did have a bit of a nightmare last night.
What was it?
Not too bad.
Okay.
I don't know why, but it's okay.
Anyways, what are we talking about today?
Sleep. The importance of sleep.
Yeah.
Now, me personally, I would take a good night's sleep over a training session any day of the week. If I had a really bad sleep, I wouldn't train the next day.
But in saying that, training also helps you have a good sleep. So we were going to touch on that, but we may as well do it now. If you participate in resistance training or any training, it is going to help you have a good night's sleep. So you sort of won't have that problem, if that makes sense.
And also working your cardiovascular system.
But also Joel's saying that if you haven't had a good night's sleep, so for example, if you are usually a good sleeper, but for some reason you just didn't have enough sleep, you were out or you got woken up or you just couldn't sleep or you had insomnia, you wouldn't recommend going into a heavy resistance training that next day because you're actually increasing your cortisol so much so that that following night you're probably not going to have a good sleep and you're creating a ripple effect. I'd
slow down my training for sure. I'd go for a walk or do some sort of Pilates or yoga. Just slow it down a little bit.
You're actually helping bring your hormones back into balance because when we aren't having enough sleep or bad quality sleep, our hormones are naturally going to be slightly a little bit out of whack.
Yes.
So you would just do what Joel said, do a Pilates
If we were to want to enhance our hormones or balance our hormones, your number one factor for that is sleep.
Yeah.
We want to find a good, constant regime.
Yeah.
Now,
the body naturally repairs itself when it sleeps, so it's like this beautiful magical machine that no matter what's wrong, sleep heals all.
For us, we've got some tools to enhance our sleep.
We do.
Naturally.
Yeah.
And one of those tools is we do not go on social media or use any form of technology at least 2 hours prior to bed.
Saying that, we do watch a movie, but we make sure that it's always a nice, good, feel-good movie before we close our eyes. Sometimes we don't, sometimes we just sit up and chat, but we're more talking about social media and the use of your phones and outside influencing.
Yeah, and look, we like our action movies, but it's usually
Joel loves a good horror movie, I do not.
Yeah, but we would never watch anything like that before we went to bed.
We have done, and it was not successful.
Yeah, that was when we were younger, and we learn a lot as we go along.
I was awake all night staring at the ceiling like...
And we can't have Steph doing that. No. So we want to have good thoughts going into bed.
I was like, I'm so scared of everything.
So a big thing here is we like to limit our technology.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to your settings and find out how much screen time you are on your phone, and if it is anything over 4 hours, we must assess your whole situation.
And I know a lot of you would be. I know some of my sisters even are like 10 hours.
Oh my God. That's
and they don't even run an online business.
That's
so
not
like,
living.
What are you possibly doing?
Let's think about that. You're in bed, you're asleep for 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
And then some people are on their phone for 10 hours. There's 24 hours in a day. That is mind-blowing that they're actually possibly looking up and around them for maybe 6 hours. That's not living.
Yeah.
People, we need to get out and live as much as possible.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get much out of your phone. There's not much fulfillment that you're going to get.
Oh, well, there is fulfillment in your phone, as in we do have access to resources now, you know, which we didn't have many years ago, that we can be surrounded by positivity. You can be in, know, our closed Facebook groups and be surrounded by good people and stuff via online. But what Joel's saying is before you go to sleep, if you open up that phone and start scrolling, you then are being programmed by your phone instead of you programming your body and your life.
For sure.
So you're being controlled by the media.
And another thing, there's lots of resources and there is a lot of positivity in there, but I don't care how positive your news feed is.
There'll always be something.
There's always going to be something that's going to trigger.
Whether it be someone that you're like, oh my God, they're just so lucky, or they're so beautiful, or they got it so easy, and then you feel bad about yourself. Or maybe someone sends you something negative, or someone did something that offends you, or no matter what topic it is, there's always something out there that's going to affect you internally, and you do not want to do that before you go to sleep.
And if you do, it triggers, then you go to sleep and you're constantly thinking of that.
And then you're putting that vibration out to the world. So that's your subconscious then emitting like this energy. And then you wake up the next day and you're like, I just don't have energy today. It's because of what you did the day before. And you're now putting that out to the universe. So it's going to come back to you. So you're going to get more of that.
And then your whole week is just going to keep crumbling.
Yeah.
And what I was saying before is life is more about getting out and experience it.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to experience it.
So the phone is good. We're not saying the phone is bad. The phone has a lot of goodness.
Oh, it
but
does.
Providing you use it for that and not let it rule your life. You are in control of it. You're like, I will go on my phone to do this, this, and this, and look at this person and send this person a message and connect, which is, I feel, what the best thing is about it is we have the ability to connect
for sure
with the world, but don't just sit there mindlessly scrolling, waiting for something to make you happy. Get off your phone and go out and find happiness.
If you're on TikTok, an app like TikTok, be like us and actually film the TikTok and upload it and get the hell out of there. That's all you've got to do.
Yeah.
Well, if we think about TNT, we've got the resources, the positive resources that you need to transform your body. Yeah. But that's not going to work if you're just watching it and you just leave it in the phone.
I feel like going in with an intention.
Put that to action.
We need TikTok as that example. Like, if you want to go on TikTok, we're not saying don't go on TikTok, but maybe look up the topic that you want to watch instead of being governed by the news feed that's going to show you all this stuff and hook you into these loops. Just be like, I just want to look at this, or I want to look at that, and then get off it. Have a goal.
Geez, we're getting on a bit of a tangent here. Let's go back to the sleep.
Okay,
we got to turn that social media off.
We're very passionate about that topic when it comes to sleep, so
because we know it can affect us, and we're pretty strong-minded, and we know for a fact it does affect a lot of people out there.
So that's a huge one.
We want to limit that technology, so at least 2 hours before bed, just turn it off. Just get it out. No phone in your room. There's no phones that live in your room anymore. You charge it out in the kitchen, you put it outside in another room. That's where it lives out there. Your bedroom is for the bed. That's where you sleep. Bedroom. You get it. So we want to turn that off at least 2 hours before bed. Another thing we like to do is not have any caffeine after lunchtime. So if you're going to be having caffeine closer to your bedtime, it's possibly going to affect your sleep. There's research behind that. So let's bring that caffeine hit to almost first thing in the morning.
So caffeine and also liquid. So you don't want to have too much liquid before you go to bed because you're then going to be getting up hourly to go to the bathroom.
Now we drink a lot of fluid.
Really, like at least 5 to 6 liters of water a day.
We have it
at the start of the day.
At the start of the day, so we're just constantly drinking a lot of water. So when we are,
so if you ever wonder what we're doing in the morning, we're just drinking.
We're doing a lot of things, but we're drinking
water.
We're drinking a lot of water. So no caffeine after 12 o'clock or at 8 hours before you go to bed. There's no in that window, no caffeine. Try and get all your water intake done earlier in the day so you're not going to the toilet too much and it's going to break your sleep up.
In saying that, I like to have a nice little cup of tea, caffeine-free tea before I go to bed. It's just like calming and soothing to me. But that's fine.
So we usually aim for about 7.5 hours of good quality sleep per night. If we get
that's just
8,
what works for us.
If we get 8, it's a bonus.
Yeah.
It's very rare that we get 8. And if we go under, well, then we need to assess what did we do yesterday.
But it's also a true fact that everyone operates differently. So some people actually respond better to less sleep, or they respond better to more sleep. Like we all know sort of what we feel best with. If I sleep any more than 7-8 hours, I'll be lethargic. I could never sleep any longer than that. So even if I get 6, I'm still fine. But 5, I'm done. Like I can't operate. So it's about also knowing where your little threshold is of where you feel good with.
For sure.
And aiming for that. And we wanted to touch on, we know that we have a lot of families and stuff here that have kids, and we totally understand that you may not be able to get 6 or 7 hours sleep if that's what you can, but making sure that the sleep that you do get is quality will help you get through that tough time. As in, when the baby sleeps, you sleep, or making sure that you're not on technology. Like we said before, when you can get a couple of hours sleep, instead of scrolling through your phone, take the time to actually just breathe, be grateful, and actually get a nice little bit of sleep. So
for sure.
I feel like there's definitely regimes that even in that situation that you still can improve your quality of sleep.
For sure. 100%. You've been putting some music on at night and it's just sending us.
I do. On YouTube, I type in healing frequency music, and it's all different ones. So they can do ones to like heal your heart, heal your body. They do all these healing meditations and stuff for all different parts of your brain and your body. And it's so beautiful. Like, so when I'm cooking dinner, instead of having the news on, or we never have had the news on, but
Never.
instead of having like a TV show, I would usually watch Friends. I love Friends. But now I have this healing frequency music that it's just so good for your body, and I feel like it does go, like, as you guys know, like people do sound healings and stuff like that. So to constantly listening to these vibrations and stuff, it is definitely
What's it called again?
Healing frequency music. You just type that into YouTube and it will come up with a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah. One thing that Steph said before, don't watch the news.
No. I
The news job is to scare you.
Yeah.
It's
well,
to
they
put
want to get more
fear.
views. They want to get more views, and the only way they do that is to make you be like, oh my God, did you hear that this is happening? But it's actually not. They just want to get this. Like,
Positivity actually gets no views.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but we
It's
all
like,
need to be.
today the world was awesome. No one cares for some reason.
It is awesome. Your world
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to touch base on your sleep.
Yeah.
We would push, like, if you are only getting your 6 hours of sleep, try and get it up to 7 hours. It's going to be much better for your hormones.
Yeah.
Like Steph said before, people respond differently.
Yeah.
But if you can
So
aim for
work
that
out
7 hours.
what your hour is, but like Joel said, if you stick to 7 hours, I feel like that's a good baseline for everyone. But then there's some people that need 10 or 5 or 6 or whatever it is, and you feel good there.
Yeah.
So that's your goal. Like, just work out the days that you feel really high energy and be like, I feel really good when I have this. And then set your life aside with your routines to help improve that quality of sleep.
Other ways to enhance your sleep is regular exercise. It's what we do, training, resistance training, walking, cardiovascular, get your HIIT sessions in. The more HIIT sessions, not too many, the more HIIT sessions where you get your heart rate up and pumping, swimming or whatever it is.
Like when we're training regularly,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
The sleep is enhanced when you're eating well.
Yeah.
Cut out the sugars, cut out the processed food, get that caffeine intake first thing in the morning rather than later on in the day. If you're looking for that extra energy kick, please don't opt for the coffee because it is going to affect your sleep, which in turn ruins the next day because the next afternoon you're going to be looking for that energy kick and the
we
spot.
would also
just
recommend with your
there.
training, you can train at any time of the day, but when it comes to quality of sleep, we would always recommend training in the morning. We have done afternoon sessions sporadically, and every time we've done it, we've still had a good sleep, but we've definitely had a tougher time falling asleep, and it's sort of been broken sleep when we've trained in the afternoon. Again, you might be different, but this is just from our personal experience. Training in the morning will give you a really good sleep that night. I also just wanted to touch on too, having a bedtime. So I know that if I go to bed at 7 o'clock, there's no way I'll sleep right through. But I go to bed at about 8:30, 9 o'clock every night, and it's the same every night. So having a routine of, there's no phone here and I go to bed at this time, so I switch everything off. It's a routine. You're then creating this cycle that your body knows when it needs to fall asleep and when it needs to wake up. So you'll eventually won't even need alarm clocks. It just operates. But yeah, having a set routine of when you go to bed, not just leaving it up to life to govern that. Like if we're out with friends, we go to dinner at a certain time so that I know I can be back in home by bed by 9 o'clock. And we have friends that accommodate that.
Some people can only train in the evenings,
which is fine. Again, I didn't want to say that it's bad, but it's just something to keep in mind when it comes to your sleep.
I love my tennis, and a lot of my mates like to play later on, and I can't do it, so I like to try and get it done like maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon for an hour.
Still
finish
pushing
off.
it for you, but it's
pushing, Jesus.
We're like old grandma and grandpa over here. We're like, no, we're gonna go to bed.
Routine will set you up for glory, team.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with going to bed early. And there's nothing wrong with beating the sun up. If you beat the sun up, you're going to win.
You are.
See yous.
Bye.